Oh, hello. This is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. When I was a college student, I worked in a Chinese restaurant. I still remember what the cook told me, and it was a very important lesson for me about cooking. He told me that how important carbohydrates in a dish. He said if you change the carbohydrate, you could use the same ingredients of that dish, but you have an entirely different dish. And he gave me an example. He said, let's just look at this dish. I'm going to serve it with rice, but now I'm going to change it to noodles. Can you tell the difference between the two? And he was right. The two looks like entirely different dishes. So in this video, I'm going to cook a shrimp with vegetable dish, a dish that I've cooked in the past, but this time I'm going to serve it with flour tortillas. I could call this my Mexican version, but in actuality, the ingredients between this dish and the dish that I serve with rice is almost exactly the same. So okay, let's get into the kitchen to see what we could do. You'll probably recognize this because I have cooked this dish quite a few times before. Here I'm going to use a combination of water-based stir-frying with oil-based stir-frying. And the main idea is to use as little oil as possible, as in this case I only use half tablespoon of cooking oil. The goal is to minimize cooking oil usage so that will reduce calorie consumption. Cooking oil has surprisingly high calories. In fact, 1 tablespoon of cooking oil has 120 calories. The advantage of combining oil-based and water-based stir-frying is that you can coat the ingredients lightly in the beginning. And this gives the ingredients a better oil flavor, particularly during the early phase of stir-fry to create flavor molecules through the Maillard chemical reaction. Here I cook all these 3 vegetables together because they take about the same amount of time to cook. As you can see now, the oil is running out. The surface of the ingredients start to like they have been charred. This is the time when I start to add water to the wok because that will reduce the temperature of the surface of the wok, so to prevent the food from being burned. By adding only a small amount of water at a time, it will control the surface temperature of the wok. So you can still have frying take place. Therefore, you don't want to add too much water at a time because when water starts to accumulate at the bottom of the wok, then you start to steam the vegetable. As you can see, the more water you add, the more the steaming process starts to take over. Without any question, a vegetable cooked like this have more a steam flavor as compared to vegetable that cook entirely using the oil-based stir-frying method. However, you can easily control the texture of the ingredients by how much water that you add to the wok. And of course, the problem is that if you don't add enough water, then the ingredients is going to get burned. And next, I add the portobello mushroom. The reason I add the mushroom later is because the mushroom cook faster than other ingredients. By adding them later, I will avoid the possibility of overcooking them. By having the diversity of different vegetables in this dish is important. And when you have different vegetables in the dish, it will create complex flavor. It not only makes the culinary experience more interesting, but it also have a higher capacity for satiation. You feel satisfied sooner, so you tend to eat less. It is also nutritionally more beneficial when you have a dish with many diverse ingredients. By this point, the vegetables are almost done. The last ingredients I'm going to add is some bell pepper. Since I do not want to cook the bell pepper too much, so by adding them toward the end, I will make sure that I will not overcook them. This is the beauty of stir fry. You can control each ingredient by adding them at different time. This dish not only has a rich nutritional value, but it also very pleasing to the eye with all its different color. I could not emphasize more the importance of advanced prepping because through advanced prepping, you have many different ingredients to choose from. This also gives you a greater opportunities for experimentation and creativity. For each combination, you're not only able to select different kinds of vegetables, but you can also vary the ratios between them. This will give you many different permutations, make your meal both interesting and fun to create. And next, I'm going to cook the shrimp. I find the best way to cook the shrimp is through pan frying. I'm going to use about half tablespoon of cooking oil. Again, I try to minimize the use of cooking oil as much as possible. This method is also known as shallow frying. Basically, you place the shrimp on the flat surface of the wok. You're going to fry one side at a time. This method is very efficient and it uses only a small amount of cooking oil. In this case, I only use half tablespoon of cooking oil, which barely covers the surface of the wok. I coat the shrimp with cornstarch before I put them into the wok. The cornstarch protects the shrimp from the heat and keep the inside moist and tender. It also creates a light batter on the surface of the shrimp. Due to its larger cooking surface, the Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok actually works perfect for this purpose. You don't want to fry the shrimp too long because you don't want to overcook them. Now I turn them over and fry the other side. As you can see that the shrimp give a very nice brown color from the frying process. From my personal standpoint, I think this is the best way to cook shrimp. However, depending on the type of dishes that I am making, sometimes I also stir fry the shrimp. Again, you can see that with a stir frying technique, you can cook the ingredients in many different ways. You have a lot of choices. You just need to decide what will make the dish taste the best. Both my wife and I love shrimp, not only because of the flavor that we enjoy, but shrimp also is very low in calories. I did not season this dish, and I also did not make any sauces. Since I'm going to put in a tortilla wrap, I want the ingredients has their natural flavor because I'm going to put sauces over them myself. And also it is good not to have sauces in it, otherwise the sauce will drip out from the wrap when you try to eat them. I cooked a portion of this dish to be large enough to fill the 4 medium-sized tortillas wrap. Finally, I garnish the dish with some scallions, and now it is ready. This is one of my favorite dish. I love the flour tortillas wrap. The vegetable is great, and the shrimp works very well. Of course, there are many possible combinations of vegetables that you want to put in them. Stir frying the vegetables are convenient and very quick. I'm going to first use a hoisin sauce and then followed by using a sriracha sauce. Of course, I can use any other type of sauce. I could have put in sour cream and cheese. However, I want this to be as low in calorie as possible that I could still enjoy it. This dish is going to be shared between my wife and I. We're both going to have 2 of the medium flour tortillas, and they are about 140 calories each. As you can see, they are the most significant contributors of calories to this dish. In fact, it is over half of the total calories of this dish. The calories of the shrimp and the vegetables are all actually quite low. I think other surprising things people might not notice is the calorie come from the canola cooking oil. I use a very small amount of cooking oil, half tablespoon for cooking the vegetables and half tablespoon for pan frying the shrimp. Still, it gives me 120 calories. As whole, this meal actually is not too bad. Each one of us consume a little bit under 500 calories. However, the picture would be very different. Instead of using hoisin sauce, we decided to use sour cream and cheese. In that case, that will add a significant amount of calorie to the meal. With 2 medium-sized tortilla wraps, we were both quite full. We probably can use just one, and that will reduce a significant amount of calories. To me, this is the power of home cooking. By making very small changes, you can create very different versions of a particular dish. And this is also make home cooking fun because you can always create something new. And with the use of template-based cooking, you have a pretty good idea how things are going to turn out. So you can always relax about it, and you will not feel the pressure as you do with recipe-based cooking. And with advanced prepping, the efficiency is right in front of you. And of course, by using flavor chasing, you know what tastes good for you. And so you can always look for the taste that you enjoy. Your food will be always delicious and savory. However, most importantly, by home cooking, you know what you're putting into your body. So you feel good about what you are eating that is good for your health. So these 5 factors are very important to make home cooking sustainable. So home cooking should be fun, it should be relaxing, it should be efficient, and it should be savory, and it should be healthy. So I create an acronym for, it is easier to be remembered, I call it the fresh factor. If you create a condition for you to achieve these 5 factors, home cooking will come natural and spontaneous to you. Therefore, the goal of my fast cooking system is to achieve these factors. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next time.